Hi guys, and welcome back to the FPL Duo. We're back again for another stream, and this is the FPL Wildcard Draft video for Game Week 8. It is a blank Game Week 8. We'll come on to what's happened regarding fixture postponements. But before we get into any of that, I just want to say, how is it, Jordan? How is everything with you? And you good?
Yeah, I'm very good, thank you. I kind of been missing doing these videos. It's felt a bit felt a bit weird not having the same like routine as we have been having this season. But yeah, it's good to be back.
Yeah, of course. We haven't really streamed. I think it's been about 3 days since we last did a stream, obviously, when we got the postponements. But it's good to be back. Good to see football back. I know we've got a few postponements that we've got to talk about. But yeah, it's the wildcard draft, guys. So if you are joining in, and also if you're watching it back on the playback, do drop a like on the video and subscribe to our channel if you are new. So yeah, we're going to get into it. But let's quickly discuss the games that are actually called off. So I'm going to bring up the fixtures right now for blank game week 8. So as you guys know, these are the fixtures. So on Friday, we've got Aston Villa against Southampton. Nottingham Forest play Fulham. Saturday, you got Wolves and Man City. Newcastle play Bournemouth. Spurs are home at Leicester. And then on the Sunday, Brentford and Arsenal play each other, and Everton and West Ham. So obviously, as we know, Liverpool are going to play Chelsea. So Liverpool-Chelsea is now called off. Manchester United and Leeds, I believe, are called off as well, isn't it, Jordan?
Yeah, that is correct.
And the other fixture, obviously, we know Brighton and Palace is off as well now. So those are the fixtures that are postponed. Was there another one as well that was postponed?
As far as I know, it's only the Man United and Leeds, the Arsenal and Brentford one.
No, Arsenal Brentford going through.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
It's Liverpool v Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United, and Leeds. And then obviously we know what happened with Palace and Brighton because of the rail strikes. That is also off. But yeah, those are the games, guys, for game week 8. As you see on the screen, we are going to come on to our wildcard teams. We've both picked an 11 for you guys to show what we'd be going with if we was pressing the wildcard. And we'll also go in our thoughts. We'll compare wildcarding in game week 8 and comparing it to wildcarding next week in game week 9. So we'll debate all of that and let you know what is the best for you and what also is the best for our teams and our plans moving forward. We've got a few people in the chat. Shout out to Oscar Willis. Shout out to Elliot. Shout out to Fatality. Thank you guys for all joining. Please do drop a like if you guys have just joined the stream. And yeah, Jordan, let's not waste too much time. Let's get into it pretty much because there's a lot to discuss.
Yeah, very exciting.
Yeah, should be a good one. So game week 8 wildcard. I'm going to pull up my team on here that I've, if I was going to wildcard, this is something that I would be going with if I'm, the way I've tinkered around last night. This is what I came up with. Let me just quickly go through. So I've gone with Nick Pope in goal, who has a fixture against Bournemouth at home, which I think is a good fixture for game week 8 and long term as well. I have gone with the double up. I've gone with a double up of Newcastle at the back. I've got Trippier in there, who also has very good fixtures. He plays Bournemouth at home as well. I've gone with Cancelo and Nico Williams as well to complete the back line. Then I've gone with the 4 up top, 4 in midfield, I should say. I've got Andreas, who has a good fixture against Nottingham Forest, and I think he is the best 4.5 million option to have in your team. I've gone with Martinelli as well, because I think Martinelli is still a very good option for that price, and there's not really other midfielders I like at that price range. And because I've got a lot of value tied up in Martinelli, I think I might as well just keep him and bench him in the weeks that he doesn't have a good game. And yeah, good fixture, I should say. So that is the current thinking with Martinelli. I do think I'm going to keep him if I was to wildcard. And then completing the midfield, I've gone with Maddison on my wildcard draft because I think we all know about Leicester with the fixture swing. Leicester's fixtures turn quite favourable. I'm just going to bring up the fixtures on my phone. So as you see on the screen, Tottenham away isn't a good fixture for Leicester really, but in game week 9 they play Nottingham Forest at home. Game week 10 they've got Bournemouth away. Game week 11, they've got Palace, and then they've got Leeds, and then they've got Wolves, and they don't have a tough fixture until game week 14 on paper, where they play Man City at home. So Madison looks like a good pick. Maybe you can bench him this week if you can, but I think he's a good one to have as a punt to attack these fixtures in after game week 8 and 9. So that's why Madison's in my team. I've also gone with Son in the midfield. I could have went Salah, but I went with Son just because I feel like he's an easy upgrade to Mo Salah potentially. If I want to bring Mo Salah in, if there are people out there, because Mo Salah does play Brighton in game week 9, so that's why I've left the Son spot in there just in case you want to bring Salah back. And I think Son, I know he hasn't played well this season so far, and he's struggling a bit, but I still think he's a good player. And fixtures look, the fixtures aren't bad. They got Leicester next, and Arsenal could be quite tough in game week 9. Brighton, Everton as well. They've got Man United as well in game week 12. So maybe you can take Son out in game week 12 and bring in someone like Salah. So that is my thinking behind that. And I think Son is good for this week as well against Leicester, which is a good fixture. And then completing the front three on my wildcard team, I've gone with Mitrovic, Haaland, and Isak. I think Mitrovic is obvious. I think he is now pretty much template in a lot of our wildcards. I think most of us are going to include Mitrovic just because of their fixtures and how well he's been playing. We know Mitrovic has had a great start to the season, scoring quite a lot of goals, and he's got a very favourable fixture run in Nottingham Forest in game week 8, Newcastle in game week 9, West Ham in game week 10, Bournemouth, Villa, Leeds. It looks very, very good for Mitrovic, and I think, does anyone not have Mitrovic in their wildcard game week 8 or 9? Let me know, because I'll be surprised to see anyone go without him. I think his ownership will rocket up. Haaland, there's not much really talked about in terms of Haaland. I think he's going to be in most of our teams. And I've gone with Isak. I just think, again, Newcastle's fixes look quite good on paper. I like him as an option. I think he did impress me against Liverpool in his first game, and he did score, and he looked like a bit of a threat. So I do like him a lot, and I think his fixtures also look good. Bournemouth, Fulham, Brentford, Man United as well in game week 11, and Everton in game week 12. So fixture wise, Newcastle do look good. Maybe some people don't like the triple up on Newcastle, so that is something you could look to change. But there's also Tony, there's also Solanke if you want to go there. But for me, I think Isak is a good pick, and as you guys can see on the bench, I have got a couple of Chelsea players on there because I didn't want to completely get rid of Chelsea. I know they don't play this week, so bring in Reece James and just bench him. Same with Fofana. I've gone Reece James, Fofana on the bench. I've also got Zaha on the bench. Obviously, as we know, Zaha doesn't have a fixture for game week 8, so if you bring him in for after that in game week 9, he's got Chelsea, and then after that it gets a lot easier for him. Game week 10, they've got Leeds, and then Leicester, then Wolves, Everton. So they also have a good fixture swing. So that's why I've gone Zaha as on my bench option. So that is the team, guys. Ward in goal, Reece James, Zaha, and Fofana on the bench. Sorry, and then that is the team you see. This team costs about 100 million, 100.1. So most of you guys should be able to afford this wildcard team if you decide to activate your wildcard. Also, I've left 1.4 million in the bank, which maybe is too much. So that does leave you with wiggle room if you want to change anything up. If there's something you don't like with the team, you could also change that up, and also leaves you with money if you want to make potential upgrades and you want to bring Trent back, for example, in game week next game week, game week 9 when he's got Brighton. So that is the current thinking with my wildcard team. And we will come on to your team in a sec, Jordan. But what do you think of something like this? Obviously, we were going to come onto your team, so I don't know. Just off the, very quickly, what do you reckon for something like this? Do you reckon it's going to be popular, or maybe you got some other ideas?
I think some players will be popular. Obviously, the front three are probably the most popular picks. I mean, instead of Isaac, it'll probably be Tony. So that's pretty much what most people will have, just because of the way the players are in form at the moment, and the front three are doing bits so far this season. The midfield is a bit of a mixed bunch, though. I don't think many people have Maddison, just solely on how Leicester have been this season. I think a lot of people will be off-putting going towards Leicester players, but even though they've been poor, Tet doesn't disregard their attack being bad as well. And obviously Maddison is probably the one who's in the spotlight for that for Leicester. other than Vardy. And with Maddison's ownership too, it's barely scraping 5%. I think it's almost like 3% where Maddison is owned in the season so far. So it'd be a great differential. I know it's a Tottenham away fixture is difficult, but him as a player, to have him early on, it could pay off in the long-term run, just the way Leicester's fixtures turn after that fixture, obviously. And also having Son as well is quite different, because a lot of people are going to opt for Kane instead. But I see why you've gone for it, because it's an easier transfer in game week 9 if you want to bring Salah back for over Son. So it makes it just easier to use one transfer instead of using two if you decide to get Kane instead. So I do like that move in terms of you can easily bring Salah back in your team. And pretty much the rest of the players I will expect will be in the wild card, but just those one or two could make the whole difference, obviously. But yeah, overall it's a pretty good wild card.
Yeah, we'll come on to your team. I know your one is slightly different to mine, so it will be interesting to see what you've gone with. But this is the 11 that I've chose. I think it looks pretty good. Just to clarify for people, at the moment, obviously, a lot of people are wondering, am I playing the wild card for game week 8? I'm actually not gonna play a wild card this week. I believe. I think I am tempted to just take a -4 and not wild card. So my plan is to take a hit, to take a -4 and play 10, 11 players, and then just wild card in game week 9. So yeah, just putting out there, guys. My current plan is to wild card game week 9, but if I was wild carding in game week 8, this is something I'd be going with. So as you guys can see on the screen, this is something that I think looks quite good for this week and also for the few weeks to come. So yeah, Jordan, we are going to move on to your team in a sec, but we want to read a few comments out.
Yeah.
Fatality says, so what you all doing this week? Game week? Well, I am going to be taking a -4, probably. I don't plan to use my wild card in game week 8. I think I want to use it next week, but that will all be revealed in the team selection video where we talk about that more in depth. At the moment, I am swaying towards holding my wild card. Fatality is a template 2.0 as well. Elliot says Salah to St. Max and Archer to Kane for a -4 with wild card game week 9 wild card in mind. St. Max and Archer to Kane. Oh, Salah and St. Max to Archer and Kane. Oh, no. What am I saying? I'm reading it wrong. Salah to St. Max, Archer to Kane. Yeah, I think that looks good. That looks good. But yes, like that, this comment is also saying St. Max injured, could be back. Yes, Son. I like Son as a 1 week punt. Or Kulusevski, someone also mentioned in the chat, Kulusevski could be back. And he could be a good punt as well, because we know Spurs got a fixture against Leicester, which looks very good. But yeah, let's get onto your team now anyway, Jordan. And you are actually playing your wild card, aren't you? Pretty much. You're pretty certain on that.
Yeah, when I looked at my team in game week 8, I think I had 4 playing players in my team, because obviously I had triple Brighton and obviously triple Liverpool. So I have no, I would have to take a -8 or 12 if I wanted to not use the wild cards. But obviously, yes, I will be using my wild card in game week 8, everyone. It is definitely happening for me. Just because I can't get past with a -8, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
So I will have to play with my wild card.
Also, before we do start going on to your team, let's quickly debate, let's quickly discuss when should you wildcard, because maybe there's a few people out there that they're wondering, do I wildcard? Do I free hit? Do I roll? Or what shall I do? There's people out there that are not sure. So I think it depends on your team. Personally, if I had a free hit, I've seen a few discussions. Should I free hit? I've got like 5 playing players. Should I just free hit? I think, guys, save your free hit. Personally, I don't think you should be free hitting this week. I know it could be tempting, but I think there's more potential later down the line in the season when you'd want to play a free hit. So personally, I think the best play is to save your free hit. Wildcarding, I think, is a serious option this week. I think if you've not got, let's say you got, like, you're in Jordan's situation, you've got 3 Brighton, you've got 3 Liverpool, or you're 2 Brighton, you've got Man United players, and then I think that's where you're in your position to wildcard. Would you agree, Jordan?
Yeah, I mean, if you can get away with just benching players that are not going to play at all in the game week, and if you're going through with 2 free transfers, then if you have at least 10 playing players or at least 9 minimum, I'll say you can probably scrape getting past game week 8 because not everyone's going to have a full 11. Some people will have 10 or 9. They're
Oh, of
probably
course, unless you wildcard, of course.
yeah, unless for those like me, if I'm wildcard and we'll have the full 11 playing.
Mm,
But it all depends on your situation. Are you willing to
yeah,
take a -4 or minus or more than a -4? I mean, it's not worth if
yeah.
it's more than
That's
-4.
that's the other thing I was gonna say. If you guys are in a position where you're contemplating taking a -8, I wouldn't do that. If you needed to take a -8 to bring in 11 players, I would strongly recommend wildcarding. But if you can maybe get away with a -4 and still have 11 or 10 players, I would put I could see why you still want to hold. So it depends on your team, but I wouldn't be taking -8s and -12s. If you're in that territory, guys, just press your wild card. If you and also, it depends how different your game week 8 team is to your potential game week 9 team. So uh, if you build two wildcard drafts, let's say you build a game week 8 one and you build a game week 9 one, how different are those two? If they're very, very different, then maybe you could be tempted to hold. But if they're very similar anyway, and the players you're bringing in now, you're going to bring in next week anyway, and they not much in it, then just play your wild card, I think, personally. So that's where I'm at the moment. I think, but where it gets a bit tricky is Liverpool. So assuming you wild card in game week 8, you're probably not going to have Salah, probably not going to have Trent. Do you want them back against Brighton? And this is where it becomes slightly interesting because that's why maybe some people want to lean towards the game week 9 wild card where they think maybe if Liverpool play well tonight, obviously Liverpool play Ajax today. So if they pick up a bit of form, then maybe we don't drop Salah or Trent against Brighton in game week 9. So there is that to discuss as well. But I think a lot of people right now they're not very interested in Liverpool assets, and I can see why. They've not been good, but they're still very good players, and surely it's a matter of time before they start picking up some points again. But we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, Jordan,
Yeah.
without further ado, what is your wildcard team for game week 8? What you thinking?
Okay, so this is what I've come up with. What is on the screen? Obviously, I will go through the individual players, explaining why I've chosen these players, and obviously for game week 8. So we'll start off with Raya in goal, who has Arsenal at home. Now, the only explanation for this is I couldn't afford to get Nick Pope because he was the top guy for my goalkeeper, but because of his price at 5.2 mil and my team value, I was unable to actually get him in my team. So, as a second option, I have opted for Raya instead for Brentford. I know Brentford haven't kept many clean sheets. I think they've only kept like one, and that was against Man United. So, with that in mind, they're not the best. It's not the best goalkeepers that I would say have, but Brentford do have decent-ish fixtures, which they could potentially get a clean sheets in. And obviously, I've got Trippier already, so I've got Newcastle covered if they get a clean sheet anyway.
Mm.
But yeah, I've gone with Raya, who's 4.5 mil. I mean, his fixture's not the greatest against Arsenal, but it's for the long-term run because after Arsenal game, Brentford's fixtures become a little bit more easier and manageable and potentially in clean sheet territory for them.
Mm.
So that's my goalkeeper option. And now we move on to the back three. So we start off with Trippier, who has Bournemouth at home. Now, I originally had Trippier in my team at the start of the season, but transferred him out. It's the worst regrettable transfer I've probably made this season so far. It's bit me in the backside now. But he is back in my team in this wild card. So he's got Bournemouth at home, and you can say arguably Newcastle have the best fixture in game week 8 because, as we've seen, Bournemouth haven't been the greatest this season, newly promoted team. And I do think, obviously, Newcastle will keep a clean sheet against Bournemouth. I'd be very surprised if they don't because they did hold off against Brighton. And if they can't hold off against Bournemouth, then I'll be quite annoyed and very shocked. But with Trippier as well, he's also on free kicks and he's a good attacking defender as well. He has got a lot of potentials to get an assist because the amount of balls he plays into the box for players. And yeah, I think he's a great option at the
Yeah,
price.
fixtures as well till long term till we wildcard again in the World Cup looks good. So Trippier, he's an easy one. I think in a lot of wildcards.
Yeah, he'll be in a lot of wild cards. I think his ownership is almost as high as Reece James's. So yeah, he's my first pick in defence. My next pick is probably another obvious one. Is Cancelo, who's got Wolves away. I think we've only seen possibly two major hauls from Cancelo, apart from the clean sheet in Gameweek 1 where he got 7 points. He has got one goal and 1 assist so far this season, so his stats are a bit underlining at the moment. But I kind of seeing that this will pick up from Cancelo now that the iffy fixtures have gone past for Man City. You could say their fixtures have become more relaxed for them now, and they got Wolves away, which could be a bit of a struggle for Man City defensively. Obviously, Wolves are pretty good, but with Man City's attack, it could potentially mean Cancelo gets a clean sheet in that game because Wolves are prone not to score many goals. Overall, so there is a higher possibility that Cancelo will keep a clean sheet and maybe an assist in that game. We move on to my final defender, who's Nico Williams, and he has Fulham at home. This could be a very tricky fixture for Nottingham Forest, but I have kept Nico Williams in because despite probably not a clean sheet from Nico Williams, there's always that attacking threat that Nico Williams provides for Nottingham Forest, but also Nottingham Forest fixtures are also great as well. So I just would like to keep one Nottingham Forest player, and who else but Nico Williams? He's probably the cheapest 4 million defender you could probably want in your team and keep him there because his price is cheap. I mean, it saves you money to start off with, and with Nottingham Forest fixtures, they're not too bad either. But I know Nottingham Forest ain't the greatest, but it's always nice to have Nico Williams there because he did get an assist last time he played. So there's that attacking threat still there too. So that's pretty much my back three.
Also, one thing on Nico, he's pretty cheap that you can bench him most weeks anyway. If he doesn't have a good game, you just put him on the bench, 4 million, and then play. You got Reece James etc. on the bench, so he's a good option to have it on a bench as well.
Yeah, he's flexible. And we move on to the midfield. It's a bit more interesting part of the team. So we start off with Andreas, who's got Nottingham Forest at home. We can just assume that Andreas's template, everyone pretty much has Andreas, obviously, because he's probably the best, like Nico Williams, but in terms of midfielder, he's the best midfielder to have at 4.5 million if you did buy him at that price. And obviously the fixture as well. It's one of the best fixtures that Fulham could have at home as well, especially. So yeah, not much to say about Andreas, but yeah, he is a great option to have in a wildcard anyway. If you didn't have him already in your team, if you're not wildcarding, so it works both ways for Andreas. Move on to Martinelli, who has Brentford away. Now the thing with this is Arsenal fixtures do swing after this fixture, Brentford away, but I do want to keep Martinelli in my team because I want at least one Arsenal player still. I feel like if I don't have any Arsenal players, it might be a bit, I don't know, damaging to the rank because obviously Jesus was highly owned. Martinelli is over 40% owned. So without those two, I feel like it's gonna be a bad bad turnout if one or both of them do get a return in their matches, even though after this fixture they become more harder for Arsenal. But I'd like to keep him in my team just because of his ownership is still high, and for the price he is as well, he's probably the best around his price margin, best player to have on his terms of performance too.
Also, I was just going to quickly add. Obviously, I've had Martinelli since game week 1 at 6 million. He is now 6.5. So a lot of us have value tied up in him. So if we do sell him, it might be a bit more tricky to get him back in. So with the value we've got in him, probably better to maybe keep at this point. And there's not many, as you mentioned, Jordan. There's not many in that price bracket that you'd want over him, really.
Yeah, that's right. And that pretty much covers Martinelli. So we move on to James Maddison, who is possibly he is the lowest owned player in my wildcard. I think just scraping 3% own him. He has Tottenham away, which isn't the best fixture, but obviously after that fixture, not Leicester's fixtures are really easy. They're green. I know Leicester haven't been the best in terms, especially in the defence, but we can assume this will pick up. Obviously, we've seen this with other teams like Man United after 2 games in their season, appalling. Then suddenly they band together and they return back with 4 clean sheets. So, well, 4 wins, sorry. So we can expect Leicester at some point to do this, and there's no better person than Maddison to return these favours, especially with he's on free kicks, he can take corners, and he is the goal scorer for Leicester, a big goal scorer. So he's definitely in my wild card for the long term run after, and maybe he'll get lucky in Tottenham game. You never know, away, but we'll see what happens with that. We move on to the last midfielder in my team, who's Kulusevski, who's got Leicester at home. Now, I was a bit 50-50 on Kulusevski. It was all depending on if Conte was playing him tonight, because obviously Spurs are playing right now. And Kulusevski is benched. So I imagine Conte is resting him for the Leicester fixture at home, which I think is really good for Kulusevski. I mean, he is a high attacking threat who passes through balls to Kane or whoever's up front for Tottenham. And I feel like he's going to do really well in that fixture at Leicester home, especially in their poor defence and state they are in at the moment. I think Kulusevski is the best ideal man to go for.
I like Kulusevski as a pick. I do think against that Leicester game, most people are talking about Son and Kane, but he also has a potential to get a haul in that game as well. Maybe get a couple of assists, maybe a goal and an assist or something like that. I can definitely see that happening, especially after him being benched tonight.
Yeah.
He'd probably be fresh for that game on the weekend.
Yeah, he's well rested and ready for the Premier League fixture. And it's at home as well, so you can't get better than that.
Mm-hmm.
So that pretty much covers the goalkeeper, defence and midfielder. So we move on to the front three. This is probably almost template, but Mitrovic, obviously we spoke about Mitrovic, how well he's been doing. He's got 6 goals in 6 appearances and our ultimate goal machine, almost scored in every game so far. And yeah, he's not on the Forest at home, so I think you definitely want him regardless if you're wildcarding or not in your team, especially for that fixture, because you know he's going to do damage, obviously, with not on the Forest. But yeah, Mitrovic, obvious pick for everyone. We move on to Haaland, who's got Wolves away, and he is my vice captaincy pick.
Interesting.
Yeah, again, Haaland, his template is there's no hesitation on not having him. I would be very surprised if no one has Haaland in their team, just because of how well he's been doing. Back-to-back hat tricks in this season already from him, and many goals behind him.
10 goals already, right? He's got.
Yeah, 10 goals already in the season so far. So he is on a goal spree, just like Mitrovic, but doing a little bit better than him. Obviously, Haaland, he's the man to go for the moment. So yeah, the Wolves fixture away could be good for him. Let's see if he can break Wolves' defenses down. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. And then we move on to the final player. Now, this is probably the surprising pick. This is Harry Kane, and he is my captaincy pick as well.
I like that.
So yeah, well, many people will know Harry Kane likes to score goals against Leicester. His record is unreal. I mean, it's probably a no-brainer, I would say, to pick Harry Kane in the wild card with that fixture at home, especially, and this is when Leicester were on a good form, that Kane was doing well. I mean, this is Leicester in a bad form now. So you can expect relentlessness from Harry Kane in terms of goals and whatnot, from especially if Leicester are not improving in defence as well. So without that doubt, he's definitely a captaincy pick in Gameweek 8 for me. I mean, I wouldn't be tempted at all to go to Haaland. I just think Kane in Gameweek 8 is an easy captaincy pick for me. I'll just have to see what he can do in that fixture. But
fair enough. I like Kane as well. I think against Leicester. Very good fixture. And I think he's got 17 goals against Leicester or something like that. I read
Yeah,
in his
it's a
last few games.
crazy record that Kane has. And yeah, that is pretty much my wild card for the starting 11. Obviously, on my bench, I have Ward, the Leicester goalkeeper, who's got Tottenham away. Zaha, obviously a blank. Reece James and Fofana, who are also blanks this game week. But obviously, for long-term hold, they will be my players that I will be switching in and out, obviously. Obviously, Fofana's 4.4 mil, so he's a cheap option. And Chelsea in general, Tuchel being sacked and the new appointed a new manager, the Brighton manager. So it could be a good thing for have Chelsea players in your team. Who knows? Brighton have been doing well with the Brighton manager, so there's no reason why he can't do it with Chelsea either. Then
Yeah,
obviously
Graham
Zaha.
Potter should do okay.
Yeah,
You do hope so.
I mean, he's had a lot of time to get to know the team and that with all the obviously the postponements. So yeah, it must be doing good for him. And then
Yeah.
obviously Zaha as well as another great pick. Not for this week, obviously postponed the game, but in long term run, Crystal Palace's fixtures are really good as well. And Zaha's on penalties, which is a bonus. And he's had those goal flurries every now and then in the season.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's definitely must have for me in my wild card in the long term run, just not this week. And that's pretty much my whole team. My team value is 100.3 mil. I have 0.9 in the bank. I am saving a little bit of money in the bank because after this game week, I do want to bring Salah back in my team.
Okay. So you are you gonna take a -4? It looks like next week because you're gonna have one free transfer. So you'll have to do. I don't know how you're gonna do it. Have you thought about? You're gonna have to do something like
Oh yeah,
Kulusevski out, Kane out potentially.
my plan was to bring take Kane out and bring Tony in because Brentford have Bournemouth in game week 9, and then the -4 would be to take Kulusevski out for Salah.
Interesting. Could work. But yeah, obviously, as you have mentioned, you are pretty much certain on a wild card because obviously you only got like 4 or 5 players playing, which
Yeah.
makes sense in your scenario. So yeah, I agree. I think it looks good in your. Yeah, I like your team. I think yeah, it looks good. So let's just quickly show you my team and Jordan's team. So that, as you guys see on the screen at the moment, this is Jordan's game week 8 potential wildcard team. Obviously, he might make changes. I don't know. Deadline is on Friday, and this is my team. So very similar. I've gone Son over Kane pretty much. I've also gone Isaac as well, and you've also brought in Kulusevski. So quite similar teams. Defense obviously exactly the same. I've gone with Pope. Jordan's gone with Raya as well. So yes, similar teams. So let us know, guys, what you think of our wildcard teams, and also let us know: are you wildcarding? Are you wildcarding game week 8? Are you wildcarding game week 9? It will be interesting to know what you guys are actually planning to do. So do drop it in the comments below. And yeah, let's read a few more comments out. Also, guys, please do drop a like on the video if you can. It really helps our channel, and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. Also got Never Give Up FPL. He says, hi guys, Kane instead of Son, in my opinion, 100%. Jordan's gone with Kane. I like Kane. I think he's a better, obviously he's playing much better than Son as well at the moment. So I can see why you'd go there. Elliot saying, watching Sporting v Spurs now, and Son still looks awful. If I was Conte, I'd play Kulu instead. Well, we've discussed this on a bit. You know, Kulusevski gets a rest, so he could be fresh for that game against Leicester.
Yeah.
Never Give Up says add Bowen. He have to get returned soon and very good fixtures. Yeah, Bowen was one I was actually contemplating adding into my wild card, but I just think I've got Madison in my team, and I've also got Son and Zaha, so it's very hard to. I don't like spreading the funds around too much, and I think I'd have to get rid of Son to get Bowen in. But yeah, you want to take the next comment, Jordan?
Yes. Where is it?
Let's get it up. Oh, there you go.
Ara says Trent to Cancelo, Salah to KDB, Gundogan to Kulusevski, or Trent to Cancelo, Salah to Son, and Gross to Martinelli. So I would, if I had to choose, I'd probably go with the first option. I think.
Are you going with the first one?
Yeah, I'd be more swayed to the first one because I'm not.
Let me see what I'd do. Wait, Trent to Cancelo. Okay, that's fine. Salah to KDB. I like that as well. If you don't have triple City, then yeah, I think KDB is a good move. Gundogan to Kulusevski. I also like as well. So yeah, I'd probably choose that one as well. I agree because I don't really like Gross. Martinelli. Bring Martinelli in. I mean, probably not. I mean, Brentford, decent. You know, I mean, it's quite a tough fixture for Arsenal, but yeah, I'd probably choose the first one. Is there any way you consider bringing Mitrovic in if you don't have him as well? Because I think Mitrovic could be a good pick for this week against Nottingham, obviously.
Yeah, because if you don't have Martinelli, I don't think it's worth bringing them in now. I think if you did have him, then hold on to him.
Yeah, I mean, we also got never give up here. He says there isn't a big difference wildcard in game week 8 or game week 9. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. I agree. This is why I'm actually in a bit of a pickle whether I go this week. I do understand there's not a huge difference, but where is it? There's a slight difference for me is Liverpool and Chelsea even because if I want Liverpool players, because everyone wildcarding in game week 8, no one's got Liverpool players in their team. Pretty 99% of teams that I've seen, no Trent, no Salah in their team. So that is my only worry. If you want Liverpool in your team, then game week 9 could make sense to wait. But I understand why people are wildcarding game week 8, mainly because you've not got enough playing players. And if I was in that situation as well, I would definitely wildcard. But if you can play 10 or 11 with the -4, it does still sway me slightly. But also, I know Guaita's another one. The Crystal Palace goalie. Now, Crystal Palace don't have a fixture. Crystal Palace don't have a fixture this week, but Guaita as a 4.5 million goalie adds a lot of value because you look at Palace's fixtures. Okay, Chelsea in game week 9, then Leeds, Leicester, Wolves, Everton, Southampton. Like Crystal Palace have really good fixtures, and they are pretty decent defensively. So I personally, wouldn't want double Newcastle defense. And I've got Pope and Trippier in there. Maybe I don't want that, and I want Guaita. So there is a slight difference, but I don't think it's big enough to. I don't think that it's that big of a difference, but yeah, I see both sides to the arguments. That's why I was in a slight pickle. But as I get closer to the deadline, I am more tempted to just use it in game week 9. But yeah, that's where I'm at the moment. Jordan, I'll let you take this one.
Kawanda says Salah or Trent, which to sell. I'd probably sell Trent and keep on hold to Salah.
I mean, it depends if you're on a wildcarding. Because if you're wildcarding, then there's a shout to you could get rid of both of them, as a lot of people are. We've not got any Liverpool players in both of our drafts. So obviously, this Liverpool don't have a game as well, so you don't really need Liverpool assets for this week. But we have to have it bear in mind if you do want Salah or Trent back in Brighton game week 9, then you have to kind of plan and move for that in advance. But Liverpool's fixtures aren't actually that great. If we look at Liverpool's fixtures, and we know Liverpool are struggling at the moment. They're not playing well. So Liverpool in game week 8 is a blank. Game week 9, they've got Brighton at home, which might be a decent fixture. Game week 10, they got Arsenal away, which it was not going to be easy. Game week 11, they've got Man City at home as well. So you could technically try get away with Liverpool assets until game week 12 when they play West Ham. So you might, if there's any time to get rid of Salah or Trent, is actually right now. Chelsea, Brighton, Arsenal, Man City in the next 4.
Yeah, no, I think that's why we haven't seen. Obviously, we ain't got no Liverpool in our team, just because also the fixtures, let alone Liverpool playing not great. The combination of both has put a lot of people off, and it will do until we see improvement from the fixtures and obviously the performance of Liverpool.
Yeah, that's why a lot of people are really put off at Liverpool, but there's still something in the back of my head that tells me Salah and Trent is still a decent fixture for them at home against Brighton. But we'll wait and see. Liverpool do play literally in 20 minutes, so we'll see what they do. If they look good, then maybe we change our opinions on that. But we'll see. FPL Josh, what's up, Haas? What's up, Jordan? How your days going? Welcome to the channel, FPL Josh. Yeah, the day is going very good. Doing another stream for you guys, and also we're going to be watching the Champions League game at Liverpool play. So I'm going to be watching that game. But yeah, what about you, Jordan?
Yeah, very good, thank you. The day's been very nice, apart from the weather. But yeah, overall, it's good to be back and interact with you guys, obviously. But yeah, thank you, Josh.
Yeah, also got Elliot said taking a hit for non-playing asset is technically -2, right? I don't know. Which one? Did I read this one out? I think we did read this one out.
Yes.
Yeah, never give up. He says he went for Patterson. Fade Scatter, shout out to him. He says, should I sell Mo Salah? He's finished now, so I'm not sure. Well, it depends on your chip strategy. Are you wildcarding? Because if you are wildcarding, I'd probably get rid of Mo Salah if I was on a wildcard game week 8. If I'm on a game week 9, it might change for me slightly. But
yeah,
I think you could probably get rid of Salah, if I'm honest. He's not the next 4, as I mentioned, look hard. If you're not going to captain him any of the next 4 game weeks, I think there's a case to be had where you just get rid of him. But
yeah, because he's the most transferred out in this game week, Mo Salah.
I'm actually not sure. I'll have to check for you. Actually,
I'm assuming he is because of the blank as well. On top of that,
I'll check right now. Actually, transfers out. Salah, yeah, you're correct. Salah has been transferred out by nearly 200,000 managers. Trent is second. Pascal Gross is third. Luis Diaz is fourth. So that's 3 Liverpool players in the top 5. Obviously, we know Liverpool don't have a fixture, so that does also play a part. But yeah, those are Salah is the most transferred out. Sporting CP takes the lead over Spurs. Okay, for anyone that is watching, wow. That's a bit of a surprise. Salah to KDB for free, or Salah to Foden and Archer to Kane for a -4. I'll go Salah to KDB, definitely, and then I'll go Archer to Mitrovic if you can squeeze him in.
Yeah, I agree.
Christian Ashley, I don't think I read this one out. Shout out to him. Thank you for subscribing to our channel. He says first time watching you guys, liking the FPL vibes. Thank you, mate. We hope you enjoy the content. And I've got Kane, Haaland, and Mitrovic up front. Your thoughts? I think that might be one of the best front threes to have for this week.
Yeah, that's the same as my front three, Christian. So yeah, it's a good. I'm assuming you are captaining Kane as well for that option at the front three.
Yeah, let us know who you're going with. Are you going Haaland, Kane, Haaland or Kane captaincy? Obviously, we are going to discuss this in the team selection closer to the deadline. I think team selection is on Thursday, isn't it, Jordan? We're doing a team selection Thursday. We'll also be back tomorrow with another stream, so do look out for that one. Wildcard to play game week 10. I need one for Brian. Okay, interesting. I think Kwanda's going wildcard in 10, which could work also. FPL Penguins also in the chat. Shout out to him. Shout out to Kobe as well in the chat as well. But yeah, is there anything else we need to discuss really regarding wildcarding? We covered everything. If anyone's got any more questions in the chat regarding any transfer dilemmas or whether they should play their wildcard in this situation, do let us know. We'll try our best to answer it. Also, guys, if you are just joining into the stream, please do drop a like on the video and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. I want to say thanks to everyone that has subscribed recently to our channel. Thank you for 500 subs. And yeah, hopefully we can keep growing. And yeah, guys, a lot more content to come this week. We are back again on, as I said, we're back on Wednesday for a transfer tips video. And then we're back team selection Thursday. Friday is the deadline as well. So we've got a stream every day for the next 3 days. So yeah, it should be good.
A bit of madness, but it's good madness.
Yeah. Okay, Jordan, he's going Kane, captain, or Son, so he's got both. Wait, so he's got 3 premiums. If he said he's got Kane, Haaland,
and Mitrovic,
and Son. So Kane, Haaland, and Son. So he's got like a 3-premium draft going on. So interesting.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I'll probably say captain Kane just because Son's form. Well, someone in the chat did say Son's playing poorly in the Lisbon game at the moment. So yeah, I'll probably go for Kane captain.
Yep. So yeah, guys, just to quickly recap, on the screen at the moment, you can see that is my wildcard team. If I was going to play the wildcard in game week 8, obviously for anyone that is just joining in, I plan to save my wildcard for next week and use it in game week 9. my current plans will be revealed on Thursday. So I am planning on taking a -4 and getting rid of Salah and Trent, and maybe bringing in a Son and just going for a 1 week punt and then a wild card over the international break. Jordan's wildcard team is on the screen now as well. This is something that he's probably going to go with. But yeah, you're pretty certain on the wildcard.
Yeah, I spent ages yesterday trying to put a wildcard together, not only for Gameweek 8, but how it looks in Gameweek 9, just from these players. And this is sort of how I can picture it. I don't think I'll be changing any players unless there's a sudden injury or something that pops up from any of these players on the screen. So this is pretty much what I'll be going with when it comes towards the deadline stream on Friday. So you guys will find out if I've stuck to this team or not come Friday.
Yeah, do join us for that Friday stream. It should be a good one. Obviously, we might make some live transfers as well. We know people like them as well, so I'll probably be making a few of them. Christian also says, I got Trent too, but won't be playing him this week, but I will take Son out for Salah after this week. Fair enough. Kobe, currently on a wild card. Would you guys go with Bowen, Mitrovic, and James, or Bailey, Kane, and Fofana? Probably the first one.
Yeah.
Probably the first one.
The first one's more expensive, I think, but the second one's more cheaper option.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. So, but I think Mitrovic is one you've got to have going forward on a wild card because his fixtures look good until at least Gameweek 16 is when we next get unlimited transfers. Bowen is interesting because we know he's low owned as well. Fixtures look pretty good. I know West Ham are not being great, but it could be a good differential. And James, I think, you might want Chelsea cover because Chelsea's fixtures are also good. But I do know Chelsea have quite a few away games, which might worry a few people. Because Chelsea have good fixtures, but a lot of them are away. So they play Palace away, Villa away, Brentford away, Brighton away. So, yeah, we'll have to see. Elliot says, got Ward in goal for this game week. Should I take a -8 to get rid? Nah, I wouldn't be taking a -8. No chance.
I know he's been bad.
Not to remove Ward anyway.
No.
But
I think you just play him and hope for the best.
Yeah, you play. If you've got 11 playing players and one of them's Ward, I just play Ward and you probably get 2 points, and it's one of those you take it from there. Or as we've said, if you can play your wild card, but if you've got 10 or 11 playing players without needing to wild card, I'd probably just. And I was assuming you have your Trippiers, your Mitrovic's, and etc. You could be good. Jordan, I think this one's for you.
Oh, thank you, Jake. Thank you very much.
Looking fresh.
Yeah, I've had a nice little trim.
There you go. And also, I just want to quickly shout out our Twitter. If you haven't followed us on Twitter, do follow us on Twitter, the FPL Duo. Jordan will be tweeting out on there if he is wildcarding, maybe early draft, if you guys want to see that. Also, if you want to chat to us, we're on the FPL Duo on Twitter. Also, if you want to join our mini league, the code is on the screen right now. So do join our mini league. We've got quite a few people that have joined as well. So it's a competitive league. So you see if you can win it. Should be a good one. Also, as always, guys, please do drop a like on the video to help support our channel. And we are probably going to wrap it up here because there is another game kicking off. Obviously, the Champions League is still ongoing at the moment. I'm just quickly check the scores. I haven't actually looked who's playing. I know Spurs are playing, but do you know what? Is it still 2-0, Jordan?
I believe so. I haven't heard anything else changing from that. I think.
Yeah. It's finished. 2-0. Spurs lost 2-0. Yeah, full time.
Conte will not be happy.
Yeah, and obviously Inter Milan are winning as well. But yeah, Liverpool do play Ajax. I'm waiting to see what Salah does in that game. Let's see what Trent does. Obviously, they are both starting tonight.
Yeah.
Luis Diaz start. Yeah, Luis Diaz will starts again, so no rest for him there. Jota is also starting, so maybe Nunes starts on the weekend. So we'll see. Hi lads, still weighing up a wild card or not to wild card. Yeah, I think we all are. A few of us. I mean, to make it easy for you, I think if you're resorting to -8s and -12s, I think you wild card. If you could get away with just one hit, maybe a -4, and you can get 11 playing players. Maybe decide to roll, but to hold the wild card. But I think a lot of it comes down to how does your team look. Like me and Jordan have just, we've done this video. This is our game week 8 team. Make a game week 9 wildcard team and compare them. If they're very, very different, then wildcard, then do it, save it. If they're very similar, your game week 8 and game week 9 wildcard teams are not much in it. There's no point. I mean, there's no point holding it then. Just play it early. So that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, because for me, my game week, if I was to wildcard in game week 9, it's not really that different. I think the only difference is I don't have Kane. There's Tony there instead, and Kulusevski is Salah. So there's only really 2 changes if I did choose to wildcard in game week 9, which doesn't really not much difference. So just better off just wildcarding in game week 8.
Yeah, there you go, guys. Fair enough. Also, Jordan, do you want to take this one? Isak or Mitrovic?
Probably
Both?
go for I'll probably go for both. If you can't go for both, I'll pick Mitrovic.
Yeah,
because he's a goal machine.
Yeah, I think you got to go Mitrovic just because his fixes are better as well. He's more nailed as well because with Isak, there is that slight worry when Wilson comes back for injury. Will he take a bit of, the minutes from him in that central position? And Mitrovic is going to play every week. He's nailed. No one's going to take him unless he's injured, obviously. So, yeah, there's that Wilson dilemma if he comes back. But I do like Isak, definitely. The wild cards will be similar. It's just value of information over the international break. Yeah, that's a fair point. Obviously, there is an international break next week as well. So it lets us have 2 weeks of thinking time, 2 weeks of information, processing all of that, what's happened in game week 8 and making our decision from there. So there is obviously pros and cons to both. But I do think it's still team dependent because if you can play, if you've got 2 or 3 only playing players, then surely you wildcard. There's no way you can take -8, -12. I just don't think it's worth it.
Yeah, and not everyone is going to wildcard in game week 8. There's going to be many people that might just get through without just transfers and -4 or play it at a later game week. I mean, this is probably the ultimatum in terms of it's not always going to be close now for points wise. It's going to really separate everyone in what they do. This decision, whoever makes decisions in game week 8 is going to really define where your ranks will. This is like the first step in that.
Hopefully there is a bit of variation now. Maybe we get a bit of different teams, maybe break the template, but we'll see. Always probably a new template that will form, but until then we'll see. But yeah, we'll wrap the stream up in a sec. Obviously we've been gonna watch the game now, but yeah, just want to say a big thank you to everyone that has joined the stream. Big thank you to all your guys comments as well. Thank you for interacting. And also, drop a like on the video if you did enjoy the content, and if you want to see more, please do subscribe as well to the channel so you don't miss out on anything. But yeah, always thank you guys for watching. I'm trying to take the team off here. Yep. And yeah, guys, we are going to wrap it up. We'll be back again tomorrow for a transfer tips video, same time, 7 p.m. UK time. Do join us for that transfer tips video, and it should be a good one. And as always, thank you for obviously got to thank Jordan as well for joining the stream as well. And yeah, that's it from me and Jordan. Anything else you'd like to add, Jordan?
Just nice to see everyone in the chat, obviously. Thank you for joining and thank you for watching. And yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, see you guys tomorrow, and have a good one, guys. Peace.